Welcome, ladies and gents. Chris Andre here. You can find me at BetBoxing on Twitter. Of course, you can subscribe to the channel. Let's talk boxing. But before I do, I just want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day. I know a lot of you out there are still single. You're yearning for someone special, and it can get a little bit lonely out there. At this time of year, everybody's seeing these loved up couples in the street and maybe they're yearning for someone of their own. Listen, if finding someone special was easy, it wouldn't be special, it would be run of the mill. So hang in there, that special someone is going to fall into your lap one day, no doubt about it. And for those of you that are in relationships and you're, especially the dudes out there, let's be honest, who are struggling to think of what to do, what can I do that's special for my partner? Well, Mike92, shout out to Mike from Hatman's Discord, he came up with a fantastic idea for you to be able to romance your lady. Instead of doing that same old unimaginative thing every single year where you forgot to buy her a present and you're on your way home from work having a panic up, you don't want to forget a special day, she's going to get moody with you, so you end up stopping off at a petrol station. You grab the first bunch of wilted flowers you find there, they look like they've been in the frozen food section next to the fish fingers for the last year and a half. And you grab some budget Valentine's Day card, you write it on the dashboard, the handwriting is terrible, it looks like Floyd Mayweather wrote it, and then you go home and you present her with these ridiculous flowers and you hope that she'll treat you to some pity loving. Why don't you do something different this year? Something that Lord Byron and William Shakespeare would approve of. Sit down with her, spoon, and watch Chris Andre boxing. You could get through so many videos. I mean, look at that image there from Mike92. Thank you, Mike. This is a work of art, by the way. How romantic is that? Imagine that. You're smelling her hair. You're watching some quality technical breakdowns. That is what romance is all about, ladies and gents. And talking of my subscribers and advice, I want to shout out Simon Brandy, who left a lovely message on my Ryder versus Jacobs post-fight technical analysis. We got a little bit technical in it, and he wrote, Chris, the Mr. Miyagi of boxing techniques. You'd make one hell of a trainer. You should do a technical analysis of how AJ could beat Usyk. Hopefully AJ watches it. Well, there is something that Mr. Brandy here does not know, and in fact none of my followers know, and I'm going to reveal to you some breaking news. Now, this may be a rumor or it may be true. I can't really say, but Cobra Kai is a spin-off of The Karate Kid, the 1980s movie that was a hit teen movie. All the kids that saw this grew up wanting to be the Karate Kid, basically. All the kids were inspired to start martial arts. I was one of those kids. And they are apparently going to be doing a spin-off from the spin-off, a little prequel, and Mr. Miyagi has already been cast. This is, rumor has it, leaked footage from the filming. Are you ready? There he is right there, Miyagi Andre. Doesn't he look great in the role, ladies and gents? So you can write into Cobra Kai, you can tell him how happy you are with the casting. Personally, I felt I would have been more suited to Daniel-san, as you can see from here. I would have been a brilliant Daniel-san, but nonetheless, beggars can't be choosers. I'm very happy to announce that unofficially, Miyagi Andre is going to be a new character. Thank you, Simon Brandy, for your support. Moving on from that, let's talk boxing. And we can see that the lightweight division has taken another little spin, hasn't it? According to Lou DiBella, they have now moved on from Devin Haney, and they will not be fighting him. They're going to be pursuing other options as Lomachenko rubs his hands in glee. And this is because they feel that the offer from Eddie Hearn is preposterous. Now, Lou DiBella claims that he sent off an offer first, and that this was the counter offer and it was just ludicrously bad. Some of the Devin Haney fans are saying they don't believe that DiBella sent an offer first. Now, to be fair, it does contrast what Team Kambosos have been saying. Well, at least what George has been saying himself. He was telling Eddie Hearn, if you're interested in the fight, send an offer. So I'm not sure where they changed their minds and all of a sudden Lou DiBella sent an offer. Perhaps they sent a request of what they should be offered themselves rather than an offer, so to speak. I don't know. Perhaps that needs some clarification. A lot of Devin Haney fans feel that there is no interest from Kambosos and there never has been to fight Devin Haney, and that he's just basically clout chasing. Kambosos is the bigger international star, so I'm not sure how it would equate to clout chasing, to be honest with you. So it's one of those scenarios where I don't know who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Something doesn't add up from the Lou DiBella side. It's seemingly illogical to say that Kambosos was only interested in clout chasing if he is not interested in fighting Devin Haney. The alternatives aren't exactly easy, are they? You're talking about Vasyl Lomachenko potentially waiting in the wings. If not, and he does go the RYAN GARCIA route, listen, RYAN GARCIA is one of the four kings. Who's to say that any of these other four kings are better than RYAN GARCIA? He's right there in the conversation. He's got a better win than anyone Devin Haney's beaten, but Devin Haney has the belt. Devin Haney is also, they're 3-3 in the amateurs, but Devin Haney's beaten him in more recent years on a couple of occasions. So in more recent times when they were both older in the amateurs, I think it's 2-1 to Devin Haney. Whichever way you look at it, Ryan Garcia has left Team Reynoso. Apparently he's linking up with Joe Goosen. This is not necessarily a bad move at all. He hadn't been with Reynoso for that long, and he'd already established himself as a fantastic talent. Nonetheless, apparently the rumors are that Ryan Garcia wanted to do this because he wants some independence. He wants to build his own brand. Is that because he felt like he was in the shadow of Canelo Alvarez? Because it can't have hurt to have Canelo in your corner, right? If you're hoping to build up a brand. Other people are saying he was probably just lazy and didn't want to take the direction from Eddie Reynoso, and that they were demanding a lot more commitment. We have heard Canelo Alvarez talk about the fact that Ryan Garcia needs to be working harder. I don't know what happened there. Nobody really knows. That would be a terrific fight. But apart from financially, because it would make sense because he's such a superstar on social media and these things matter when it comes to pay-per-views, what else does Ryan Garcia offer? You know, Lomachenko offers legacy, and from what we've understood, a bigger offer than the Devin Haney fight. This is according to internet rumors again, we don't know for sure. And Devin Haney offers the chance for undisputed, which you'd hope would be Kambosos' priority. Ryan Garcia merely offers the money, potentially. So would that mean that if Kambosos was to go down that route, that he's essentially thinking of cashing out? Let me know what you think about all this. How do you analyze his mindset on all of this? Now, let's talk about a beef that's occurred, another little beef. Tyson Fury put out a tweet to say, this man did it right. He got in and won a gold and got out on top. Big respect to Team Khabib. Now, for those of you that might not know, Conor McGregor and Tyson Fury had been quite cool with each other in the past, but needless to say, Khabib is the sworn enemy of Conor McGregor. They had their big beef inside the octagon. It spilled outside of the octagon. The war of words have always continued. They really dislike each other. And Conor McGregor did not take too kindly to a guy that he thought was his pal putting out a complimentary tweet against a man he sees as his enemy. And he put out a tweet in response saying, yup, the Joyce is Big Joe, obviously Big Joe Joyce's potential rival to Tyson Fury. He went on to say, you bottled it with Billy Joe's dad. What were you doing there? I was actually going to try and do this in a G-Man boxing accent, but I thought I'm going to get it terribly wrong. And if I get my Irish accent wrong, I'm going to get some abuse. So we'll stick to my regular accent. But yeah, try and imagine that Conor McGregor saying this, or my good pal G-Man. It might make it more realistic for you. But he told him, you bottled it with Big Joe's dad. What were you doing there? Now, this is a reference to the Canelo Alvarez against Billy Joe Saunders fight, when a big security guard pushed over the father of Billy Joe Saunders, and Tyson Fury was about 1.5 meters away. He was behind a little barrier. It wouldn't have been that hard to climb over it. And a little fracas broke out, and Tyson Fury did not get involved. Now, I did a video on this in the past, and I said that I personally thought that maybe Tyson Fury's view was obscured of the initial push, so he may not have realized what had occurred. What transpires between these two disproves my initial point. We'll get to that in a moment. He said, you left him, you did nothing, you Versace twat, referring to the clothing that Tyson Fury wears. You done nothing. You did it right, yeah? Yeah, right, he's saying, referring to what Fury was saying about Khabib. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. So who did it right? The Mac Daddy tonight in the house, Miami D12, Bahamas, hashtag Sky Juice. A lot of people accused Conor McGregor of being drunk because of how terribly illiterate this is. But nonetheless, shots were certainly fired. And there was clapback. As Tyson Fury said, come back when you win a fight, mush. And the difference in me and you is I don't get myself in trouble and people actually like me. You're just a bully who hits old men. And yes, big up the Hulk, Joe. Hashtag Morecambe Bay in the house. That's in reference to the Bahamas message from Conor. I thought that was brilliant from Tyson. And Conor McGregor also piped up again and he said, oh no, people don't like me. What will I ever do? Ha ha ha, you idiot. You're just a little, and I won't say what he said there, liquor, bro. That's all. You stood there while your friend's father was being attacked and done nothing. That's the be all and end all, bro. Good luck and God bless. Wipe his derriere, basically, with your tongue, bro. You missed the spot. Ha ha ha. And I'm not talking about Khabib, you licker. Do what you're told. I answer to no one. Now, I'm not going to speculate about what this is in reference to. I'll leave that to you. But people online are suggesting that this may be the alleged link between Tyson Fury and somebody who is allegedly in the criminal underworld. And Conor McGregor is trying to give him stick about that. And Tyson Fury responded with, he's done more tapping than MJ's old dance shoes. So we're seeing a little Twitter beef emerging between Tyson Fury and Conor McGregor, once friends, both firing shots. Conor McGregor seemed to be cutting quite deep. Let me know what you think about that. Tyson Fury did drop that Morecambe Bay line. That was more funny than anything else. The hitting old men was also a shot that fired quite deep, as was the tapping. So let me know what you think about this. Is this going to escalate? We know that Conor McGregor has a history of reacting in a certain way outside the ring. Is he going to really go there with a man of Tyson Fury's size? Let me know what you think about all that's occurred there. And talking earlier of the potential of a RYAN GARCIA and George Kambosos fight and the power of social media and how it can create stars and generate money. Maris Briedis, prior to making that rap video aimed at Jake Paul, had a following on Instagram in the tens of thousands. I think it was just under 100K. Well, now it's at 1 million followers. Let that sink in. Now, I have heard someone else tell me, no, it was a little bit more than just under 100K. It was a couple of 100K. Whatever it might have been, think about the level of growth we're talking about here and try and understand what all this means when it comes to pay-per-views. If people are buying into it, casual fans, teenage girls that like RYAN GARCIA or whatever, is Kambosos going to look at that and think, you know what, it does make a lot more sense for me to fight RYAN GARCIA? And in terms of Maris Briedis, we've all been cussing him. Why don't he go ahead and fight Lawrence Okolie, make a big fight? Listen, if he's not made a huge amount of money, and he probably hasn't because there isn't that much floating around in the cruiserweight division, if this is going to make him into some sort of star now, you have to tip your hat off and say, well played, Briedis. Let me know what you think about that. Moving on, Deontay Wilder has given an interview on the Byron Scott podcast. Before we go into the details of the interview, because it is indeed very interesting, note that the video's been up now for 3 days and it's only had 4,223 views. Now, Deontay Wilder is one of the top heavyweights of the modern era, a long-reigning WBC champion, a guy with mythological punching power who his legend will now be mythologized in what was a terrific trinity of fights. And when you consider that, and he's got 4,000 views in quite a detailed interview now. This is an interview where he opens up about quite a bit. Imagine this was prior to the Fury fight. How many thousands and thousands of views this would have had. And this is why I guess fighters want to strike while the iron's hot and want to build up a fan base, because fans are so fickle. Deontay Wilder's almost been thrown on the scrap heap of history in the eyes of many, and he was asked if he is going to return to the sport. And he said he's going to be doing ayahuasca, which is, I guess you could say it's a drug. I've read about this before, whereby it basically causes huge levels, mass levels of hallucination, where you can almost lose bodily control, certainly functions of your bodily control. And a lot of people think that it enables them to enter into a realm of being awake and opening your third eye and things like that. Some very new age type of stuff here from Deontay Wilder. And he's saying he wants to do that before he makes a decision on boxing. So he wants to engage in a drug binge, basically, going old school, one of those opium drug binges of the Victorian era. That's what he seems to want to do before he decides on whether he's enlightened enough to take on boxing again. But one of the things he also says is that he broke his hand in the second or third round in that third fight against Tyson Fury, and that he feels that boxing has treated him terribly, that there's been a lot of cheating going on, and that he's had referees against him and stuff like that. Let me know what you think about this and Deontay Wilder's mindset. He seems very happy in this. He's there with his wife, Telly Swift. They've released a new perfume, and long-time subscribers will know I'm into my fragrances, so I might have to find a way to check that out if it ever comes here to the UK. But yeah, let me know what you think about everything, and watch this interview. It is a really good interview. You see the human side of Deontay Wilder, the likable side of Deontay Wilder, and there is that level of a touch of madness that I guess we love about him, right? You've got to love that about him. You've got to love a heavyweight that's got that about him. But let me know what you think about all that we've spoken about with regards to that. Please take the time to press the like button, the subscribe button, the notifications button. A lot of people have been saying to me again that they're not getting notifications. If you unclick it and re-click it, it should start to work again. Thanks for watching, everybody. Chat to you soon. Take care. God bless.